Hey everybody, it's Christine Bertram, and I'm coming to you live from the Hive with Hunky. He's out here. So are the other cats, you guys. They're there. I had to shut the computer screen because they just love to jump all over it, you guys. Learning the whole kitten thing again is a little bit crazy. So they are just fed though, you guys, so they shouldn't be too distracting unless you find it entertaining that they're working around in the background. So we're back, you guys. Doesn't it feel like we were just live? We had the Let's Just Stamp class at 1, finished that up around 3, and here it is 5. In the interim, I'm so excited because I did get the textured floral PDF written for you guys, and I got the clues written for right now, and got some emails answered, and it's just rocking and rolling, you guys, like normal. So hi again, Mary Lemke. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, you guys. I really appreciate it. Hi, Donna Grushki. Hi, Angelique. And there's Susan Bellamy again. Hi, Ingrid. You've never been to one of these before. Any tips? Number 1, have fun. Number 2, don't be overwhelmed. Number 3, pick your pattern paper first and then add in your coordinating cardstock and then figure out a stamp set. I guess those would be my top 3 things. We'll go through things too as we get going. Hi, Tony Shaw. Hi, Terry Schultz. First time for Mystery Card live. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you caught me live. You guys, I appreciate the hour early here. Tyler asked me on a date tonight to do something, and we got to be somewhere at 6:35. And so I'm like, oh, I think I could do it if I move class up an hour. So never fear though, if you can't catch me live, always know the replay is available to watch when it's convenient for you. Hi, Sarah Mitchell. Hi, Irene from New NWI. I'm not sure if I know what NWI is. I don't know that abbreviation off the top of my head, so fill me in. I want to know. Hi, Pat Detlefson. Northwest Indiana. Ha ha ha. I just read the next comment below. So I get it now, Irene. Northwest Indiana. I was like, is that somewhere in Australia? And I'm like, but I didn't want to say that. Hi, Cindy Hutchings. Hi, Jeannie Parker. Hi, Angelique. Oh, she says, so sweet. Yeah, there. Oh man, you guys, I'll have to show you. They're all in a cat pile right there. Bigger Tigger is playing with Honeybee and Hunky, so that's good. Oh, hi, Mary Ellen Ryan from California. Hi, Elaine Rebeck. Donna's Happy Mail came today. Oh, well, our Happy Mails cross paths because I have a box from you right on the counter, on the table there. It made it from my living room to the Hive out here, Donna, so yay. Hi, Paula Rice. Thanks to Paula and Karen. They proofread my clue number 1 for me, you guys. I really appreciate that. Hi, Sandy Wicklander. Hi, Patty Wright. Hi, Janet Jenkins from Virginia and Deb Norman. Ingrid is all ready. Great. I'm happy to hear that, Ingrid. Hi, Susan. And there's Sherry. And Sherry, first time for Sherry Sarton. So welcome for the first timers. We really are happy to have you here. And we hope that you have a lot of fun. There's Sherry Everett. Wow, you guys, I had the Sherrys are locked and loaded here. Sherry, Sherry, and Sherry. All 3 of you in a row. I love it. You missed the earlier class, but you're here now. That's what matters. That's all good. Hi, Barbara Rudolph. I have 2 sets cut and ready to go. I didn't fold through because I wasn't sure which direction. Okay, so we'll go through that, you guys. I have actual pieces of cardstock and pattern paper to make. I'm not making a full-blown decorated card, but I'm doing the designer paper and cardstock for real with you guys with colors that match, and it's all pretty and stuff. Oh, Donna got her game night from her bundle from game night. So did Susan Bellamy, so that's awesome. Hi, Carol Fremstead from Minnesota. There's Susan Rish. Hi, Cindy Miller. Hi, Granny June from Louisiana. Hi, Ethel King. Yay, live again. I love it. Hi, Debbie Gast and Becky Gandolfo. You guys, oh, so many people. Hi, Sarah Merchant. Hi, Susan Wormley. Here's Karen. Karen's a lucky winner. Karen, did your 2 cards that I mailed to you a few weeks back, did they ever arrive to you for your prizes that you won, the cards, and I sent you an embellishment too. Yeah, there's Joanne. She missed the class early, no problem. Hi, Joanne. Wow, so we got everybody here. Well, we have about 55 people, which is awesome. I bet we're going to get another 50 people that'll maybe roll in here, or it's kind of early, so they might catch the replay. But you guys, there's a lot of new first timers, which is awesome. So the main thing is you not to stress, okay? This is just, it's not just a card, but it is a card. It's paper. I always repeat this a lot. It's Naughty Nancy would say, it's just paper. Hi, Cheryl Moan from Wisconsin. We're going to hopefully end up with something pretty and show you a new fun fold. I was going through different swap cards that I got, and I came across this pattern. Carol Alanis, thank you so much for your inspiration for this card. I will share your card on, well, what is today? Monday, right? So when we have class on Thursday, oh, it hasn't arrived yet. Okay. Well, I did put them in the mail the day that you gave me your address. I did put them in the mail. I promise. They did go out. So both of them. I mailed 2 cards and a prize in 2 different envelopes. So so let me know as soon as you get it, Karen. I'm curious how long that international mail is taking. Hi, Don Ablett. So the main thing is to not stress. You're making a card. It's not like it's like it's supposed, the whole process of making a card should be the joy that you feel inside and the like kind of the therapeutic feeling of making something. And so that's what I want you guys to remember the most, is not to be overwhelmed and have fun with it. Don't get stressed out. Go with the flow. The thing is with this video is that I'm live now and I can answer questions for you guys right now. I have a whole community of people that are not first timers that have been with me for a while, and they love to help me answer questions too if I don't see them right away. And so we'll try to help you out as soon as possible. Is this something that happens often? Never heard of it before, but happy to join in. Yes, Irene, I do this once a month. I always shoot for the 3rd Monday of the month, but sometimes it switches. Like last month, I had some traveling to do on the 3rd Monday, so I pushed it to the 4th Monday. But it's usually the 3rd Monday of the month, and it's usually at 6 p.m. Central. But I was asked on a hot date tonight. So my boyfriend's going to take me out to a movie. And the only time it's really playing at a reasonable time is 6:40. And we didn't want to go to the 9 o'clock because then it gets too late and we don't get up in the morning so easily. Hi, Linda Hall. It can take up to 3 months. Worth the wait. Okay. Well, it's going on like week 3, I think. Right, Karen? I think that's about 3 weeks since we messaged each other. Yeah, so it's normally at 6 p.m. So I did bump it up an hour because one of the benefits of doing a YouTube live class is that you guys can watch it live or the replay whenever it's convenient for you. So the other thing is that, like, if I go a little fast or you can't keep up with me, everybody works at different speeds. So just know that there is no right or wrong time to get done with your card, or I might move on to the next clue and then you might still be on the clue that's previous. Just don't let that bother you. Don't be overwhelmed. Just know that watch, maybe then just start watching and be like, okay, I get what she's doing now and I can always finish it or keep going or catch it later. So there's never supposed to be any stress with it. The other thing that I always like to mention is that I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I have been since 2013. I'm going on my 10-year anniversary this October. I've been using Stampin' Up! Products since 2001, and I love them a lot. We're going to see The Sound of Freedom again, you guys. We wanted to support the movie again one more time, and it's less and less now in theaters. Like it's actually got brought to our Fond du Lac theater, and so that's 10 minutes from us versus having to drive 20 to 30 minutes to get to the theater to see it either in Appleton or Oshkosh. And so Tyler wanted to see it again, and he asked me to go see it with him again. And so it's convenient that it's at 6:40 and we get back by 8. So, well, it's done at 8, so we're back by a little after 8. So it all worked out good. So just wanted to go out and support that cause again. So the other thing is I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I've been using the products for a very long time. But that doesn't mean that you guys have to use Stampin' Up! Product. This class is for you to use the things that you have at home. We all buy things and we collect them, and sometimes we've never used them. So what I love to do is encourage you to grab that pack of pattern paper that you bought and you haven't opened yet, and find a stamp set maybe that you haven't used yet and use something that you have bought that you haven't used. That's always where my joy comes in. Hi, Sally from New Hampshire. Hi, Gloria Wolf again. So I love for you guys to use something that you haven't used before, because I always am sad when I open up a stamp set that I've had for 5 years and it's like, oh, I never put those stamps together. So hi, Renee Cook. So use something. That's a challenge that I have for you guys, is to use something that you've never used before. And if you've used it, that's okay too. It's really, there are no rules to this, you guys. There's no right or wrong way to make your card. If you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and you're starting to see the products that I use and watch the classes that I do and you are looking for a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to earn your loyalty. So keep that in mind too as we move forward, that if you're looking for a card lady, I could be your card lady. Hi, Hilda L. What else? You can change up this. We haven't had many spammers out here lately, which is awesome. And now that I might mention it, now we're maybe going to get a spammer. But just know if we ever get weird messages or correspondence in the live that doesn't seem like it's right, just know that you should ignore it. And I try to delete those comments if I can, but you know, people saying hi and asking questions, like that's all part of our community. That's what we do. But sometimes we get those weirdos that try to sneak their comments in. They want us to click on clickbait. And I just want to remind you guys never to do that. In a live with me or with a live with anybody else. Don't ever click on something because it might bog up your computer. I've had to help my mom and dad fix their tablet because they've clicked on something that they shouldn't have clicked on and it downloaded something that they shouldn't have downloaded. And so just be careful with that kind of stuff. Yes, so we'll do share. Yeah, so I have a Share, Create, Inspire class that is very similar to this class where it encourages you guys to make cards with a recipe that somebody's provided. And that next one is on September 20th. And Donna, while you're at it, maybe you could remind us what the day is for the September mystery card night. I don't have a calendar and I don't know it off the top of my head, but we could already tell you guys what day it is for next month. Okay, so what we're gonna do first is we're gonna go through Clue 1 together as a group and just make sure you guys have the right cardstock and pattern paper cut. I was really nervous after last month having a couple pieces that I usually don't have one or two things wrong on a mystery incarnate. We went with it and we worked with it and it was perfectly fine. But I had a couple people help me proofread Clue 1, so I think we're pretty spot on with this one. And so I love that you guys use this mystery card night to make a card that you need for the upcoming week, or you need to make, like I made cards with your. So Linda said she made cards with her grandson today from the new paper pumpkin that she received. Fabulous, Linda. I'm very happy to hear that. A reminder, I have a few paper pumpkins behind me for July in case anybody's still looking for a paper pumpkin. But what we're going to do is flip down. You're going with a friend on Wednesday to see the same movie. Good. I'm so excited. They were looking for 2 million people to watch the movie to represent the 2 million children who are trafficked on a yearly basis. They are, I think, about 5 million already people have watched the movie, which it's bringing a lot of exposure and awareness to this problem that we have. So yeah, so good. I don't want to say enjoy the movie because it's not the kind of a movie that you enjoy watching, but it was a well-made movie and the acting in it was really good. Jim Caviezel he just played the part really well. And so I like, for what it's worth, Becky, enjoy the movie from the movie aspect, and it leaves you wondering, what can I do next to help to combat this? So Thursday, September 7th. Oh, that is correct, you guys. No, that's not correct. We need August yet. Thursday, September 7th is the correct mystery card night for September. Kelly's going to do it because I will be in Maryland on September 7th, but there should be a mystery card night in August, sometime in August. It would be out on my events calendar. Or in that PDF schedule. So, but yes, September 7th is accurate for September, but let's figure out August. So Irene, we're ready to start. We're going to flip the camera down and we're going to go to clue number 1. And we're going to make sure we all have our pieces, and then we're going to start assembling the cards so that you guys can start to help me solve the mystery. So are you ready for clue numero 1? I think we all know number 1. All right. So what movie, Linda Hall asks? We were talking about The Sound of Freedom, the movie that's based off of a true story with Tim Ballard, who used to be with Homeland Security, and he rescues children so that are being trafficked or held against their will. Not so much anymore, because now that he's in the limelight more, trying to bring exposure, people know him, and so he can't be in the shadows anymore. So he has other people helping to do the inner works of rescuing, and he's on the back end now, helping to facilitate like bringing exposure and awareness. So, all right, you guys, that's the other thing. Irene, we do see Paula did a thumbs up. So we do the thumbs ups, we do the hearts, we do whatever to tell me that you're good. You can comment in here, yep, I'm good. So when I see about 5 to 6 people that are like, yep, good, then I know to move on to clue number 1. And I will make this a little bit bigger. All my information is here for anybody that's new to me. My Facebook page is, I zoomed out a little too much. My Facebook page is Cards by Christine. My email address is here. My website is here. Phone number, current host code. If you want to place an order to get classes for free, that's the host code you want to use. Mystery night is August the 21st is what Deb said. Perfect. So, all right. Yes, this is gorgeous designer paper. I definitely agree, Yannick. All right. So we've got it August 21st and September the 7th for the next ones. Oh, Donna had it here too, August 21st. You guys, I saw both your comments come through. Oh, you're watching the video now, Irene. Perfect. Okay, so let's zoom in just a hair. So let's go over our pieces just to make sure we've got everything in order. So there are a few abbreviations that we use. Hi there. There are a few abbreviations that we use. Tall is for tall. W is for wide. So when we talk about designer paper, sometimes or pattern paper, you guys, I use those words interchangeably. Just know that it could be wide or tall, depending on like which direction you want the pattern paper to go. And so that's up here as an abbreviation. And then we have white and vanilla. White is W and V is vanilla, and we do have a honey sighting here, you guys. So sorry, for those that can't stand cats or don't like cats, just know that I have cats, and they like to say hi from time to time. So know that they will be saying hello every now and then. For those that love cats, enjoy it. Enjoy those baby kittens, okay? They are little ones at this point. So WV is for white vanilla. When we're talking about colors of cardstock, you could have warm tones and cool tones. And so I usually use vanilla with warm tones and white with cool tones. So just know that, hi Sue Spagner, you know you can use white or vanilla interchangeably. So that's why we put W or V. I have here 1 piece or 2 pieces because you're gonna have an option when it comes to the card at the end, how you wanna do it. Oh, Irene has 3 as well. Yeah, I love it. Okay, good. Susan says, hi, honey, by the way. All right, so we have a 5 1/4 by 4. All right, so let's pull this piece. So I'm not going to write numbers on here like I usually do because this is actually cardstock that I'm going to use. So it's 4 inches by 5 1/4. At this moment, you might not know if the card goes vertical or horizontal, but we have a 5 1/4 by 4 white or vanilla. And where it's optional is this guy right here. There's a 2 by 1 1/2. And again, you don't know which way it's going to go at this moment, but this is optional. I cut it to show you how you can use it on your card, or you might end up with something else down the road. So that is this little optional 2 by 1 1/2 inch piece. All right. So that's what we have for white and vanilla. Now we have coordinating cardstock. I have one color of cardstock. You guys, if you want, you can mix and match it up. You could make a corresponding color if you so choose. Like if you think peacock, like this is called Pretty Peacock, but you could also add like Lost Lagoon. So when it comes to the cardstock, you can or don't have to have the same color. You could have changed it up. But just to go over the measurements, we have a 10 inch by 4 1/4. So this is 10 inches this way, and it's 4 1/4 tall. Well, you don't know that at this moment, it doesn't matter. But we want to score and fold at 5 1/2. Let's see, here it is, 5 1/2, 6 1/2, 8 1/2, and 9 1/2 on this 10 inch side. So again, it's 10 by 4 1/4, and it's scored at 5 1/2. Let's see if you can see those score lines. 6 1/2, 8 1/2, and 9 1/2. All right, so that's one piece. Then you have another piece here that says it's 3 by 5 1/4. And so I've got 3 inches here by 5 1/4, and it says to score it at 4 and 5 on the 5 1/4 inch side. So I've got my 2 score lines there. And we have an optional piece here. This guy is optional because it might or it might not be used later. It depends what you want to do. But it's basically the mat for this little guy. And this is 2 1/4 by 1 3/4. And so these are the 2 optional things. And that's why I have 2 or 3 pieces. You need 2, but depending if you want to go simple, you will have 3. And if you don't go simple and you want to like zhuzh it up, you'd have more. Okay, so now patterned paper. I have 4 pieces. And it says on here that you need a 4 by 3/4, a 4 by 1 3/4. And again, this is where the tall and the wide come in. So if you have a direction to your pattern, you might take this into consideration. So 4 inches tall by 3/4 wide, 4 tall by 1 3/4. Every time there's a little slash like this, that means it's another piece. And then a 4 by 3/4. And then lastly, a 4 by 3 1/4. So it's important. I was just reading Inique's comment. One didn't talk, the other 2 are half Siamese, but she took it up. Oh, that's awesome. They foster sisters. So you might be best, because you want to keep these in order. So let me zoom back out here. So I have my designer paper here. And, well, they were. Hang on. That goes there. That goes there. I think this one's backwards. So let's see if that's right. No, that's different. Okay. So this paper is 6 by 6 paper. And so it's not quite wide enough. If you have 12 by 12 paper, it'll be fine. But I had a 6, so this is the Ink Botanicals paper, and it's only 6 by 6. So I had to pull a little scrap from the side. So all good though. Hi, Tazzy Turtle. So it says here, it's best to start with a 4 tall by 6 1/2 wide and cut at 3/4, cut at 1 3/4, cut at 3/4, and that leaves 3 1/4. So ultimately it'd be great to have these in a row to keep your continuous pattern. But I had to pull from a different pack or a different sheet, because this is actually like the bottom edge of one of these, because it's bigger than 6 inches. Okay, so that's that. All right. Now, I don't have it on here, but because I had another sliver of this designer paper left, I cut one more piece of it. And I cut it at 3/4 by 5 1/4. And you might consider using it on the back of your card at the bottom. I just gave away a hint there, you guys. You might consider putting it at your white mat here on the bottom. So I don't have it on here, but it could be an optional extra thing. And let's use a marker that you guys can read a little bit. Hi, Sharon Castor. I'm glad that you enjoy watching me. Oh, here's another honey spotting here. So you could potentially have here one more, and that is for the bottom edge of this piece right here. Yeah, you think you're so cute, don't you, you little guy? So she's got this little royalty mark, you guys. If you haven't seen her yet, she's got that little orange mark right at the top of her head. And my mom calls that her princess markings. All right, then there's another piece. It is a coordinating pattern paper, 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. Now, it's coordinating, so I picked this piece because it goes really, I think, nicely with this, and it's from that same pack of paper. All right, so there's another piece there. So we've got lots of pieces that we're working with, and you want to have some scraps potentially as well. Hi, Michelle Davis. You found the live. Yay. So scraps of paper in white vanilla or coordinating cardstock or pattern paper. Because like how you decorate the front of the card is going to depend on how crazy you want to get or how simple you want to get. And that's where this comes in versus the scraps. Grab your inks, any colored pencils, markers, any sentiments for the front of the card, the back of the card, images, ribbon, thread, embellishments, scissors, adhesive of choice. So lots of stuff here. Hi, Sue Beasley from Australia. Happy to have you with us. So that is what you guys should have for clue number 1. And now I did count. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's about 11 pieces, potentially, plus scraps. And so there's a lot of pieces with this one, just like there was last month. Now, where are you guys at? Are you good with that? Do you have all your pieces ready to go? I'm hoping you do, because you should have had them cut ahead of time. But I do know that sometimes you guys wait until you see me and we go through the pieces and then you cut them with me. So more of on the fly. So if that's good, you guys, we are going to move on I just noticed I left my computer back there. Try to have it all cleaned up and tidy, but not, I guess not now. All right, so you guys, I'm gonna assume and guess that we're good to move on to clue number 2. Get your glue or tear and tape or adhesive ready because we've got some adhering of stuff to put together. We got lots of stuff to put together. All right, so I'm gonna flip over to clue number 2 and we're gonna start. All right, I'm seeing thumbs ups. Wonderful. Okay. All right, all right, all right. So we're going to start with this piece right here. This is the 10-inch by 4¼ card base, and you want to fold all of your lines. And you're like, well, how do you know how to fold lines? That's where this comes in, and we do this together as a group. All right, so this is a 5½ inch section, so we are going to have our normal A2 size card. So it is going to end up being 5½ by 4¼ And what we're going to do is fold it in on all the score lines. So fold in, fold in, fold in, fold in. Okay, so they're all going in. Ultimately, it's going to be making a box like this, okay? So this is the first section of this clue number 2. So what it also says here is keep the 5½ inch section on the right, okay? This is the right. So this is our 5½ inch section right here. And then what we're gonna do, my purple marker kind of bled through here, so I see that because it's clue number 1's on the back side here. Adhere the largest, okay, PP1 means pattern paper 1. Hi, Missy Madura. So adhere the largest pattern paper 1 mat to the right margin. Okay, so let's go over here and look at this. So pattern paper 1, I had these 4 pieces. This is the largest right here. And I want to keep them, you know, they're in the order. So this was my one here. And it says to adhere it to the right. So largest PP1 mat to the right margin. Now, how do you know how close to go? Well, what I would recommend doing is making sure you have the same margin on the top, the bottom, and the right. So all of this is consistent, the same. Yes, Missy, there's always a replay for this. Anytime I do an online class, it is stored in my YouTube video section, like the YouTube channel, and just go look for it. So this will be the latest video. There won't be another video until maybe tomorrow. I was thinking about if I can get the scavenger hunt done tomorrow, but otherwise just look for 5 p.m. Central Time for Mystery Card Night. But yes, you betcha. Anytime it doesn't work for you guys, and same with all my online classes. If you can't take a class at a certain time, the replay is there forever and you get the tutorial. So that's what the second section is here, you guys. Adhere the largest PP1 mat to the right side, okay? So over here, consistent margin, top, bottom, and right. Now, the next part of this, okay, so Anik asks, so when cutting paper or cardstock, do you put it on top of the line, or do you put it on top of the line of the trimmer? So that's a really good question. She's asking about when you line something up, I butt it right up to it. So let's pretend I'm gonna be cutting off here. This is a good question. So let's pull this right here. So at this 4, I have found that if I look at it and I can see a hair of that edge here, that's where I would cut it. I've tested it in the past, and when I put it over it slightly, then my paper is slightly bigger than 4 inches. So I put it so that it's like I can see the line. And I guess it depends on the trimmer that you're using too, because it's possible that it's printed different. The way to test it, I'll be honest with you, and I've done this in the past, the way to test it is to cut it at right before the line, get your ruler out and measure it. And if it's perfect spot on, then you know. And if it needs to go on the top, I would say cut it and measure it with a ruler, and then you will know. And it could, everybody's trimmer, like it could be different too, right? So potentially the Stampin' Up! Trimmer does it one way and a different brand does it a different way. So I guess rulers should be exact, right? So I would say I've found that I cut right to the inside so I see the mark, and because I've measured it, and that's how it works on my trimmer. So, but good question. Okay, so let's get back here. So place adhesive on the 1/2-inch panel and then fold it onto the card base. And what you're gonna do for that is take your tear-in tape, or you can take adhesive of whatever you want. But I like tear-in tape. It's more of a permanent adhesive. And it says, place adhesive on the 1/2-inch panel and fold it onto the card base. Now, that's a little vague. You might be like, oh, what side? Okay, so is it this side or is it this side? So ultimately, this is going to roll around like this, and you're gonna want the adhesive on this side, right? So let's put this adhesive right there, like that. And I'm gonna put just a hair more. Hi, Becky. We're gonna put that right like that. So when you're open all the way, you do not see the adhesive. The adhesive is on the back side of this. And once I do this, I'm done. So I can't show you again. That's why you should use the same ruler throughout a project. Don't switch partway through. Exactly, Ingrid. Good point. Okay, so I'm showing you right now the DSP or designer paper, pattern paper is glued down on this 5.5-inch section right here. And it's open, and that adhesive is on like the back side, okay? I'm gonna peel this off, and once I do this, you guys, it's done. I can't show you again. So if you miss it, what you can do is go back through the replay and watch it on the replay. So what I'm gonna do now is, it says, and fold it onto the base. So we need to, this lines up just like this. I was just testing it out. Okay, when I say fold it onto the base, because sometimes you see what I was doing. I was like, well, how do I get this to be exactly, it's gonna be crooked potentially. The best way to do this is with this 1/2-inch section here and this 1-inch section here. You're gonna take it and have it ready to go, and all you do is fold it onto itself. And like that. And you should have a little 1/8-inch margin on that side, right like that. So did you guys see that? I can't, it's gonna rip it apart if I do it again. I had that 1/2-inch and the 1-inch, and then what you do is you fold it, you just bloop like that, plop it right down onto it, and I'm taking the heat from my fingers and rubbing that onto where the adhesive is, and that will help it stay in place. And so that makes it be like this perfect little box with 90-degree angles, giving you that 1/8-inch margin all the way around. Okay? I hope that made sense. Okay, so that's what we've got for clue 2, where we basically got our card shape going. This will eventually lay flat when we are mailing it, but when it's open, it stands up on its end like this. Okay, where are you guys at? Hi, Corinne Bouvier. Tony is done with number 2. Perfect. Good job, Tony. I appreciate you with giving me the thumbs up, the happy face. Joanne says a happy face. Okay, so that's what we got for clue number 2. All right, perfect. Suzanne, you guys are coming through and telling me you got that done. Awesome. We're gonna meander over and check out clue number 3 together now. All right, so clue number 3 is gonna be more gluing. So we're gonna keep on with that adhesive. All right, so let's flip this over here and bring in number 3 here. All right. So we have 3 more pattern paper 1 mats left here, these 3, and they have corresponding panels. What I mean by panels are, this is like a panel, this is a panel, and that's a panel, all right? So you have 3 pieces that correspond to these panels, and if you've kept your continuous pattern, you should be able to glue this guy right here. So let's put, like, that guy will go here, that one will go here, and the other one will go there. So for me, I'm gonna take this and flip these. I flipped them upside down. I'm gonna put a little bit of liquid glue around here. Hi, Carla Lake from Kentucky. And remember, I flipped them. So now I gotta flip it back. And this will be my continuous pattern here. So that gets put right in the center of that panel. And again, it's a continuous pattern. Again, I flip this guy. And that one goes on this panel right here. Now we have one left. And so we're gonna take this guy. And now the reason I chose this one to be like from a different section of this paper is because from the front, you know, this was more continuous to me, where this wasn't gonna be continuous. So anyways, that's why I chose this guy to be the odd duck here. And the pattern paper I picked here, you really can't tell that it's not continuous. Okay. All right, so that's the first section here of clue 3. Adhere the 3 pattern paper mats to their corresponding panels. So we're basically decorating our card with some pretty pattern paper. All right, hopefully that made sense. And hopefully you've got your panels and your mats, they corresponded nicely. There's another section here that's regarding like the more part of the fun fold of this card. So you have this other piece of coordinating cardstock, and it's a 5 1/4 by 3 inches tall, and you had it scored at 4 and 5. And so it had it that you should fold it. And I guess in the beginning I mentioned to fold it, but these do just fold into each other. So I didn't really define that in the clue here, but just know that you're gonna burnish them and they do fold into each other. So what you're gonna have is like a little L. I'm like, what letter is that? I was like a backwards J, but it's like an L. All right, so you're gonna have that folded, like again, they kind of make into itself, like into a circle. And the other part of this clue is to adhere the left margin of the 5 1/4 by 5 1/4 here, cardstock 1, to the left edge of the card base and align the bottoms. So it's the non-folded side, this side, is the left margin needs to get adhered to the left margin over here. Okay, ultimately what's happening is it's going to go like this onto the card. Okay, so what we want to do is make sure that we're only, hi Paula Stewart, only putting adhesive on this side and not the part that's going to be hanging over. So it says adhere the left margin of the coordinating cardstock to the left edge of the card base and align the bottoms. By aligning the bottoms, I mean making sure that your bottoms are flush here. So what would you do for putting glue on? Well, you could set this here and use it as a guide, and probably, hi Connie Moore from Ohio, you probably will just I'd put adhesive right here versus trying to guess how much to put back here. What I would do is put this next to it and know that I can't go over the edge, like on The Price is Right, or your little man will go over. All right, so you have a little bit of liquid glue here, and you're going to align or adhere the left edge here, and you could do like this so that you don't go over, and then we want the bottom to be straight as you can. So let's get that flush on the left and flush on the right. Okay, so I have a little glue sneaking out right there. Let's get that put away. So we did not risk putting any glue on that part right there. We don't want that to have glue on it. And so that is this middle section here. Adhere the left margin of the 5 1/4 coordinating cardstock 1 to the left edge of the card base, and then align the bottom. So like you want these to be flush here. Dinner lasted too long. Yes, I agree with Anik. Hope it was yummy. Okay, so that's the middle section. Now we're going to do something similar to what we did to put this little panel down. Ultimately, we need to put, so place adhesive on the 1/2 inch panel. So this little guy right here, that's the 1/2 inch panel, and fold it onto the card base. So grab your tear and tape and put that on your 1/2 inch section here. I'm gonna do this once, you guys, because once I do it, it's gonna be adhered down and I can't pull it apart and redo it. So I'm gonna show you again. You've got your 1/2 inch, no, I'm sorry, your left side here adhered to this section here, like it's glued, all right? What I did is the top here, I put adhesive. I just ran my tear and tape. And what's gonna happen is I'm gonna fold it back here. So it's like, it's folded right in half. You know, it's not in half, but it's folded in back. And what's gonna happen is I'm gonna fold the card, like I just folded it onto the card base. So are you ready for it? Because once I do it, it's done, right? Again, on this 4-inch line, fold this back, and all you're gonna do is squish this side down so it's flat. And then that adhesive should stick to the designer paper or your pattern paper. So you guys want to see something cute? Hang on. Those two are playing with each other. They're just, his little paws are coming through like the chair. Anyways, I thought that was super cute. They're playing so nicely. Okay. Did you guys see this? Little tip, put liquid glue on the tear and tape so you have a little wiggle room. That's a very good point. Very, very nice, Anik. That's a good point. All right, so now we've got a little bit of base going on, you guys. We got our, like, the meat and the potatoes of our card base, all right? So this is where we're at. We've got a blank back. We've got our continuous DSP going on. We've got the front here that kind of can sit up, right? So it looks like this so far. It folds flat so you can put it in an envelope and life is good, but we're not done yet. So you guys look like you are getting done with clue number 3. So hopefully that all made sense. Try not to adhere things like midair. Like don't try to be like, okay, I'm gonna try to get this, you know, use the card base and like shut it onto it, okay? All right. We're good. We are going to move on to clue number 4. All right. There aren't many clues tonight, you guys, but we've got a few. We're almost there. So now what's going to happen is you have a piece of pattern paper, another one. Hopefully it coordinates nicely. I chose this one because it's a non-busy florally leafy pattern. It's got the checks or squares here. So you're going to adhere this other mat of pattern paper to the front of your card base, all right? So I'm going to put a little bit of liquid glue on here. And that is just going to get adhered right onto this middle section. So this section here, it was a 3x4, and our pattern paper was 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. So now we've got this front going on. Okay. All righty. So that's it. That's the first part of clue number 4. Now we're going to go and work on this part right here. Stamp sentiments and or focal images onto the 5 1/4 by 4 white vanilla mat and adhere it to the back of the card base. But this is where I did an optional add-on. Irene was mid-air. Try not to do the mid-air. I promise you, it's so much easier to like fold things back and then set them down into it. So, oh, you little girl, you're trying to, so she's a lot stronger than her brother is, and she can climb up things, but he can't so much. He is He's not as strong as she is. He's got really big like paws, but he can't like quite pull him up. His arms aren't strong enough. All right, so this is where my optional add-on was. I didn't put this in the instructions, but if you have a strip of designer series paper and you want to adhere it to the bottom, you definitely could. So add a 3/4 strip of your pattern paper to the bottom, and you could do that instead. So I'm going to glue that on here, and instead of stamping a focal image on it, that's where designer paper can also be used, and it adds a nice element of matchy-matchy to your cards. So I did notice that my designer paper here is a hair shorter, so that's where I'm going to grab my little baby trimmer and just shave off that hair, or a hair and a half, whatever. So then if you chose to do a focal image, you can stamp that on here, whatever you want. I noticed that there's a little bit of adhesive right there, so let's, well, maybe it's not adhesive. Hang on, there's something right here. Get that off of there. Mid-air card will not stand. I mean, it's really hard to make fun folds like mid-air. It's so nice to fold them in because then everything seems more square. All right, once you've got your sentiment stamped, your focal image on here, once you have designer paper, whatever you want, you're gonna take this, and we need a spot to write our love note, right? I mean, unless you don't like to write on your cards, you could skip putting something on the back, but I highly recommend putting something, get it all stamped, because if you put this down onto your card and then try to stamp, it's not gonna stamp as easy because you have so many different layers going on. Let's get this just centered right. So like right now, if I would go to stamp this, there's a hump right here from this, what's on the back side here, and there's gonna be a hump over here. So you definitely, if you're gonna stamp, I would definitely stamp it beforehand. I'm not gonna stamp, I'm not gonna worry about it. I'll figure it out later. So, all right, you guys, so that's what we've got here. So we've got a card that stands. It really looks like this from the front. We've got a back that's good to go in my mind. Like we're cruising right along. So don't worry at this moment if you haven't quite finished the back of your card. Like let's say you're still trying to figure out, oh man, I don't know what stamps I'm going to use yet. She's working too fast. You didn't have stuff picked out. It's okay. Just know you just want to get that white piece on the back however you want it to be. Okay? All right. So we're basically onto the last bit of this card. It's clue number 5. And this is where you guys need to use your imagination and your creativity, because I'm leaving this completely open-ended for you now. You're going to see what I mean here in a second. Okay. So we have a little bit. Hi, Lynn Beasley from Arizona. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So Sarah Douglas does say stamp before you stick. Definitely agree. Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you. So I'm thinking in my head, I could leave this blank because I could always write whatever I want. I could also take a label and stamp and die cut a label and glue a label back here. So, all right. So we're on to 5, and 5 is where your imaginations can run wild, you guys. I just looked back and I'm like, she's totally straddling the edge of the counter there and just like chill. I love it, you guys. You guys are getting the cat show tonight. So either, I hope you enjoy it or take it with a grain of salt, whichever. So this is your fun part, you guys. Stamp your focal images, sentiments directly on to this little piece right here, onto this little white. So if you want a simple card and you want to put a sentiment right here, add some ribbon, like weave some ribbon back and forth. This is what you're going to decorate. And then it says adhere these two together and then add it to the card front. So ultimately you could keep it as simple as you want, right? Keep it simple. Add just a sentiment, put a little ribbon behind here that matches, and then add it to the front like this, and like that could fit in there if you like straight stuff, right? If you're like, I like kitty wampus things and things crooked, you could always like put it like this too, and you can get a little bit of anglage going on. That's why I put this as optional. You don't have to use this. Like, to me, this seems like, oh, it seems easy. And to keep it simple for some stampers that like simple or clean cut things, like that is your route to go. if you are like, oh man, I want to decorate this and go crazy and do something like this. Like this is a card that we're making on Thursday night for the textured floral. You could use your scraps. So stamp focal images, sentiments on scraps, and then adhere them onto, you could do directly onto here. You could do them onto here and use this as a base and then put them, but like you could take something like this chunk and like decorate the front. You could go crazy. You could do something like this one where it has some foliage and leaves and then a sentiment like this. So you're gonna use your scraps. You could do whatever you want and put something pretty like on the front here. Just zhuzh it up however you want. I'm trying to find different samples. You could do something like this. This little guy right here is about the same size. And what you could do is stamp a sentiment on here and then make a flower and put some foliage coming out the back end and then put like this thing right on the front here. Hi, Ellen Brover. I'm glad you like the card. Yay. I'm trying to see here if there's anything else in my box of upcoming stuff that you could definitely use. Like this one's not going to work so much. So all these are what we're going to be making on Thursday night, you guys. So these, you can watch that class Thursday. I do have lots of kits left of that. But like this one wouldn't work so much, right? Because it's too tall. Well, it could work though if you ended up making your card into a like this kind of a card. It won't stand up very well, but you could have done it vertical if you wanted. Doing some sort of a leaf collection like this one and a small sentiment on the side would be perfect. On this one, you could do the snowflake like this, like depending on, you know, that thanks would fit there and a little snowflake. Oh, this one would be perfect too. This little ensemble right here could go right on here. Like you could put this guy like that and have, or you'll make a tag like this and put that. Some sort of seashell action could go. So in case you guys are wondering, like this is the, if you're new to me, this is the class we're doing on Monday night that I have plenty of kits available for. Could do something like this. This is Let's Just Stamp for next month. You could put the little critter guy and make it even bigger and put that on here with a little sentiment and some ribbon. So I guess my goal for you for this part of this now is use ribbon and figure out what you want to put on the front of this, right? You could put it right directly onto here, you know, all your little zhuzhing ups, or you could use this as your home base and add it to this and put this on, or you could stamp directly on here a focal image or a sentiment and add a little ribbon. Different ways that you can do it. So, oh, Jeannie likes it too and Donna likes it. Great, I'm so glad you guys like this layout. It's a good fun fold. It's not too crazy or hard, right? I mean, it's a lot of like gluing more than anything. It's like it's cutting of some paper and then gluing. So I am going to skip over, so I don't, guys, I'm frugal with my paper. So I am gonna go to clue number 6 right now, but just know that it says 7 because I used the same sheet from last month. We just didn't have an extra clue that we needed. So this is it then. Clue number 6 is actually embellish Stella to your heart's content, right? So Stella is a Stella pen. It's a glitter pen. And then embellishing is using, here she comes again, you guys. She's uncertain of what's happening here. And now we're going to put you right down, little lady. Embellishments are like rhinestones. You could use iridescent rhinestones. You could use, this one has butterflies on it. This one has iridescent pearls on it. So embellishments, embellish to your heart's content and Stella as much as you want. Make it pretty, beautify it, like just make it yours. So we all start off with the same kind of layout, but we're all going to end up with unique cards because I don't think one person is going to use the same designer paper, pattern paper, or colored cardstock coordinating with it. So there we go. Okay, so that was our last clue. And what happens then now is we need to share. So this is where the fun part for me comes in, is that I get to see what you guys came up with this pattern for this layout of a card. So it's time to share. So what you're gonna wanna do is take a picture of your card. Grab your phone out and just take a picture, right? And this is where my Facebook world meets my YouTube world, right? Because we're doing the YouTube live here in YouTube, but the sharing is in Facebook actually. And I have an event for this. So if you're not in Facebook, this is going to be a little bit hard, but I think you can get into my Facebook page because it's a public page, so anybody can get into it. I had my sound crackling, but I hadn't got it plugged in well enough. Perhaps that's your issue. Oh, did anyone else lose sound? Becky, let me just see here. And I have sound yet, so I'm good to go. And I think that you guys, most others will probably too. So where are you going to share this now? So you're going to need to go into Facebook to share this. So I think you could do this even if you didn't have an account, but I'm not quite sure. I guess I don't post pictures a lot, but you're going to go into my Cards by Christine Facebook page. For anybody who shares, you'll get in on a drawing on Thursday night after class. For every 20 cards that are shared, I pick a winner to win a prize out of my stash. And so what we do is we go to my Facebook page and go to, and it's out here right now. I already scheduled it. You have to go to my events. When you go into my events, hang on, arts and crafts store, add work experience, all this stuff. I don't know what all this stuff is, but I think at the bottom here, there's events. Okay, so we're going to go to July Mystery Card Night. So also, for if you get emails from me, I will be sharing an email tomorrow that has the link to share the pictures as well. So you could always wait and get that link tomorrow in my email. If you get emails from me, you'll get that email tomorrow. So hang on. We are going to go into discussion, and it's here. Look at that. I scheduled it for 5:55. We hope you had a great time solving the mystery with us. Show off your beautiful creations here and be inspired by everyone's cards. Cards commented on this thread by Wednesday, July 19th at 11 p.m. Central will be entered to win prizes. And usually there might be somebody who already has their card in here by now, but there isn't. And so, but this is where you would go in and click comment and add a picture of your card right there. So like here's a card that I could just post it. So that's where you would go to share the card. And I just realized now that I never shared pictures from the wedding with you guys. So on my class at 1 o'clock, I was going to share with you a picture of, so Tyler and I, navy was the color. And so he was all duded up in his navy shirt with tie, and I found my navy dress in the back of the closet. And then I have a picture with a little flower girl. This is my brother's new stepdaughter, Aspen, and she is adorable. She's like 6 years old, and so she was a cute little flower girl. And I have a couple pictures. There's my mom and dad dancing away, and so proud mama and papa. And this was my brother having his dance with my mom. Okay, so I got that picture. And then this is what it looked like. I was telling you guys, it was all out in the wheat field. So they built this arch, and then the wheat is almost ready to harvest. And so this is the family coming together for the vows. They did them together because my brother married Amanda, and Amanda has 3 kids, and there's actually a little baby Maisie that my brother has with Amanda. So this is how that looked out in the wheat field. And I have another picture. There's me and Tyler. He said not to show people that because he's got a rooster tail in the front, but I didn't care. And there's mom and dad and our navy get up. So I had the right color for it, and that's what we did. We set up, there's my mom, and then we've got my grandma's over there. And so my dad and Tyler and a couple other people set up all the bales of straw, and then I helped wrap all these in plastic on Saturday morning. And so that's what that looks like out in the field. So anyways, I forgot to share. And then they mixed the sand together to bring the family together. You know how that works. Okay. And Tyler drove the Rustler to get people out to, and there's my brother Tom. So if anybody knows, my brother Tom is the one that helps me with my DSP samplers. He comes down 3 times a year to help me. Anyways, and that's the Rustler I keep talking about. So Tyler was one of the drivers for these vehicles, and everybody parked at my parents' farm and drove them out basically over here in where those trees are. That's where the woods was behind. So anyways, and there we go. So in case you guys were wondering about this whole wedding that I had this weekend, my brother got married. And so we had a big festivities with setting all this up in the middle of a farm field and then setting up the hall, which was basically at, I guess you could call it a bar that had, it was an old bowling alley that is now a bar. And so we set everything up. And so it was a busy on Saturday. So, but yes, there, that was a little side note for those. I feel bad. I forgot to show that during class today. And so hopefully people catch the pictures that were at class today. They actually are going to watch this live too, so that I didn't miss anybody. So, okay. So, it's a whole different group of people that watch Mystery. Not a whole different, but I'd say there are different people who watch Mystery Night that don't necessarily watch my other classes. So I'll have to probably share the pictures again on Thursday night, so in case I miss anybody. But yes, it was a beautiful wedding. The weather cooperated, you guys. It went really well. It was just enough breeze that it didn't make it too hot and sweaty. So, yes, it is Tom. I thought it was Tom. Oh, no! Tom didn't get married, Angelique. Actually, so I have 3 brothers. Mike, Mark, and then me, and then my youngest brother, Tom. And so Mark is the one who got married, and Tom is the one who helps me with the DSP sampler. And my brother Mike was actually on vacation down in North Carolina and didn't make it for the wedding because they had the trip booked a whole year ago. So, all right. Yay. Okay, so we did it, you guys. So your goal now is to get your cards finished. Chip, finish those cards, get them photographed, and share them in the event. And then we will pull the names of everybody who shared on Thursday morning, and we'll include them in what we do on Thursday night for the class. There'll be a drawing at the end. Okay. I will tell them congratulations. You betcha, you guys. So I wasn't planning to share the pictures until I started going through my pictures, and I realized that I never shared the pictures this afternoon, you guys. So, all right, if you guys have any questions or concerns or anything in the middle, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm here to help you. And I'm going to schedule the email to probably be published either tomorrow morning or around noon tomorrow. It'll include the link to this video, and it'll also include the link to Facebook, so that if you get emails from me, you will be able to see that email and just easily click on the link. It'll take you right into Facebook to share your pictures. And sometimes that's easier for people. So if you don't subscribe to get emails from me, that's one of the benefits, that you always get the PDF, not the PDF, the YouTube replay. I always include that after class is done so that you can easily find the videos. And with this one, I share the Facebook post. Okay, and then on Thursday night, you guys, I will share Carol Alanis's card that I definitely cased for this mystery card night to give her some credit on her card. So very, very cool. All right. And I do realize I kept looking at the card, and I'll talk about it on Thursday night when I show you her card, and I'll show you what I was eyeing up on my card. So, all right, you guys, that was good. We kept it right at an hour, which is awesome. Thank you so much, Deb. We will enjoy our little date together. I gotta go make some popcorn to take with us. Sorry, we do that. All right, and that's a lot of information. But anyways, you guys, thanks for sticking it with me. Not sticking with me, but sticking through with the kittens. Hopefully they weren't too burdensome for you, and hopefully you got a little enjoyment seeing some baby kittens, right? They're sleeping there. They must have played enough. Now they need a nap, and that's usually how it goes. Play a little, nap a lot. Play a little, nap a lot. They are kittens, so they need their sleep, their beauty sleep. All right, you guys, I'm going to say goodnight to you. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Lots of sunshine, love, and big hugs to everybody. I'm going to count to 10, and then I will call it a wrap just in case it cuts out early, but love you a long time, too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.